So I took a few days off over the Christmas holiday, and like I tend to do when I'm not working, I did some reading for work. And I read an article by Ashley Thompson, who's a researcher out of the University of Minnesota, I believe. And she talked about something I've talked a lot about in my work with couples, and that is that our relationships are supposed to be our safe zone, the one place we go to escape the absolute chaos of the world. But sometimes being in a relationship, it can feel like a second job, and one you didn't think you actually applied for. Being in a relationship in 2025 is intense. We're asking really way more of our partners than our grandparents ever did. We don't just want a companion. We want someone to help us grow. We want a life coach, a therapist, a cheerleader. And when you mix those massive expectations with real world stress, like being overworked or stressed about money or parenting, you get a recipe for total emotional exhaustion. When that weight gets too heavy to carry, you hit what Ashley Thompson and her colleagues call relationship burnout. Think of your relationship like a scale. On one side, you've got resources, things like affection, good communication, and all those things you do to support your partner. On the other side, you've got demands, the stuff that just drains you. Burnout isn't just about falling out of love. It's what happens when the demands are constantly heavier than the resources. And according to the research I read, relational overload usually comes from three places. External stress, so this is the outside stuff like drama with your extended family or having too much on your plate, right? Second, it comes from role strain. And this is that feeling of, I just need 5 minutes to myself. It's when you feel like your personal space or your independence is being squashed, it's being stepped on. And third, it comes from partner demands. This is when it feels like your partner needs constant reassurance, or when your partner expects simply more than you have the energy to give in that moment. Overload makes you feel like overextended. It's that sensation that everything in your life is more important than your relationship, or that your relationship is moving way too fast for you to keep up. And here's why you need to pay attention. These pressures don't just stay sort of outside of your relationship. They leak in. They leak into your connection. The research shows, and not just this researcher's research, the research shows a direct link. The higher the overload, the lower the relationship satisfaction. Even more concerning, high levels of overload and exhaustion are strongly linked to the urge to cheat, to have an affair. When you feel totally depleted and the intimacy dries up, you might start looking for an escape hatch, just something to help you breathe again. So, how do you stop that downward spiral? Well, the first step is actually identifying the problem. Most people just say, I'm tired. But we have to look at why. And this study suggests a two-pronged fix. Number one, cut the demands. You have to look at those competing expectations, those competing pressures. And that means setting better boundaries to protect your personal space and your time as a couple. Number two, refill the tank. You can't work harder to fix burnout. You have to replenish the resources. So I'm talking about, more quality time, actually meeting each other's emotional needs, being there for each other to create a buffer against all the stress in this world. If things feel really heavy, professional help is a really great move. So yes, it's expensive. Yes, we worry about what people are going to think if we go to counseling. But the research suggests that if you're checking those overload boxes, it's really important to get some professional backup. Remember, feeling burned out, it doesn't necessarily mean that love is gone. It might just mean that you're overloaded. Figure out what's weighing you down and start lightening that load together.